Hello guys, Sean Foggett here, welcome back to another video, and here is my top 10 trophies in football. And it's not just club trophies as well, I am going to include international ones as well. So number 10 is the Carabao Cup. Why I think it gets in here is because teams who usually win it usually go on to have quite a successful season. And it's not higher than 10th because I think there are at least 9 trophies in this ranking that are bigger than the League Cup. In 9th, I've got the Super Cup. Even though it's not the most important trophy, you're in it for a good reason because you've either won the Champions League or the Europa League. And it's a good trophy to get on your tabs early on in the season. In 8th, I've got the Club World Cup. It's not the best trophy in terms of like teams in it, but the good thing is if you win it, you can say that you're champions of the world. In 7th, I've got the FA Cup. It has got the history, but there are tournaments that have got bigger clubs in it. In 6th, I've got the Copa del Rey, which is the Spanish version of the FA Cup. It has got a lot of big clubs in it. So that's why I just edge it over the FA Cup. In 5th, I've got the Euros. It's not above the 4 that I've got in my top 4 because there's only there's only like 5 big nations in the Euros. It's England, France, Germany, Spain, and Portugal. I would throw Croatia around that list as well, but I don't think they can go in there because they haven't won an international tournament, even though they have got close on multiple occasions to doing so. In 4th, I've got the La Liga. Oh my god, that is absolutely disgusting. I've got to go into another room now. Can't have that in the video. Sorry about that. Sorry again. In 3rd, I've got the Champions League. The reasons why it's not 1st or 2nd is because it is a competition based on luck some of the time, and it's not about consistency. It's about taking your chances, and it's about keeping clean sheets as well. And some of the time, teams can win it without even being the best team in Europe. Some of the time, teams win it with being the best team in Europe. But there has been a couple of Champions League wins that have come from teams not being in... not being the best team in Europe for that season. Because when Chelsea won it, they were far away from being the best team in Europe. I know they did beat good teams to win it, but when we played them, we didn't play our strongest 11. When they played Real Madrid, it wasn't the Real Madrid side of like the season that they won 3 Champions Leagues in a row, and it wasn't the Real Madrid side that beat Liverpool in it either. I don't know how that door just opened when no one even touched it. But there has been deserving Champions League wins, like City this year was deserving. When Bayern won it, it was deserving. When Real Madrid won it in that season where they beat Real Madrid where they beat Liverpool 3-1, because obviously they couldn't have beat them themselves. Where it was when that Karius had a howler in the final. That's when it was a deserved win. And like the Barcelona wins were deserving wins of the competition, and like a couple of like the AC Milan wins. I think the Liverpool one in 2019 kind of wasn't deserved, because they were one of the best teams in Europe that season, but I don't think they were the best. Because I think if the decisions went our way in that game against Spurs, when we won 4-3 but we went out on away goals, then I think we might have gone on to win it that season. In second, I've got the Premier League, because you've got to be consistent throughout a 38-game season. And nearly all of the Premier League winners have been deserving, other than like 2. Because the Chelsea one under Conte wasn't deserving, because they were in a title race with Tottenham. I know that's not really their fault, but I think if they were in like a title race with teams who had more of a winning mentality, then they might not have won it. And I know the Leicester one, you've got to respect it, because no one expected it to happen, but I think that was kind of fluky as well, because all of the top 6 didn't have good seasons in the league that season. And also they were the only best team in the league that season. But why I have the Premier League over the Champions League is because the best team usually goes on to win it. But in the Champions League, that's not always the case. Yes, the Champions League... Oh my God, who's that nutter on the phone out there? I'll continue now. Because even though the Champions League has like arguably bigger clubs than the Premier League, because the Premier League has 5 big clubs. I'll name them for you. It's Man United, Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea and Arsenal. I'm not putting Tottenham in that category because they always win fuck all. And in the Champions League, you've got Bayern, you've got Barcelona, you've got AC Milan, you've got Liverpool. Even though they're not in it at the moment, they are in it more than they're not in it. But overall, like the Champions League has got bigger clubs. But why it's not above the Premier League is because you don't have to be as consistent to win it, and you don't have to get as many wins to win it. And also, when you play at your best in the Premier League, you're near enough guaranteed to win most of the time. And in the Champions League, that's not always the case, because you can play really well and still lose, because you could create like loads of chances but not put them away and then get punished. But first is the World Cup, obviously, because you've got Brazil, you've got France, you've got England, you've got Germany, you've got Croatia. Like, loads of really good nations out there. And as a global standpoint, it has the most views out of all of these trophies. And you have even people who are not even massive football fans watching the World Cup, which you don't have with that many of these trophies. And leave me your thoughts on this video, and also put in the comments your top 10 trophies as well, because I'd like to hear your thoughts and opinions. And I'll see you guys soon.